Continuity is always good because, every year you kind of learn what each other wants and how they work, how they function, and then you can move without saying a word. And so that's important. It helps with efficiency, but yet, man, that's part of it to get to that point. We'll be fine. We'll be fine, man. Everybody knows how I feel about these coaches that have been here and been part of this. I'm happy for them. They're moving on. And I wish them the best. But, man, like John Morton, man, stepping in an offensive coordinator, somebody I know, I trust, I've been around. I mentioned this before. He was here when we built this thing back up in 22. And then Kelvin Shepard's been here, man. So it's not like it'll be starting from scratch or somebody that I don't know or he knows me. And so I see this thing moving pretty quick. There'll be a couple of bumps in the road. We'll have to work out some kinks, but it'll be kind of fresh and new, actually, and I think we're all excited to that. Look, I said this from the get-go. My job is I'm to be the leader of this team until they're ready to take it over themselves. And they're ready to take this over. Every year has got more and more where our leaders, St. Brown, Sewell, Goff, Hutch, Alex, have begun to take this thing over. And that's so now you don't have to worry about my voice. You know what I mean? It's their voice. They're the ones who set the tone for the team. And so, no, I think we're in a good spot. We got guys that are hungry. They're the reason why we bring them in, because they're the right guys. They don't get complacent, and they're going to go back for some more. Yeah, look, where we're at right now, we're excited. We really got everybody back that we wanted to get. We thought it was important that we were, trying to make the most of what you have in free agency, but to get Davenport back. Certainly Hutch is coming back off injury. What we did with Mac early in the fall, we added Lopez to Reeder, until we get those guys back. Wingo's on injury, but then we feel good about where we're at, man. And we're not done either. That's the point. We're not done. And we don't know when. We don't know. Maybe it will be the draft. I mean, we're looking at everything. It could be after the draft, It could be any time. But at this point, with where we're at, we like where we're at. Getting Levi back was big, So the thought process has been cemented every year. It's, this thing is cured over time. Like it has stood the test of time. The kind of guys that you need to go get, Everybody, of course, you need to get productive players, man. You can be tough as nails and do all these things or play a certain way, and if you can't run, or you're not very strong, or you don't have any size, or then no, you can't play in this league. Doesn't matter who you are. But man, if you've got some tools and you've got some talent, but you've got a little bit of this chip on your shoulder, and you're a guy who believes you can do it in this league, and it doesn't matter if you don't have the big name or the flash or the most money, then you belong here, and because you can play. But that's big for us. That's a part of who we are. Guys like that. It's one of the reasons we brought in Stewart too, man. This guy flies under the radar. This guy's an unbelievable special teams player, and he can play defense too. So, and maybe offense. Well, this is a Detroit line offense, is what it is. And I mentioned it. I was talking to Dan yesterday. I mentioned this, and here the nuts and bolts of what we are. Man, we got our coaches. Man, this offense is Jared Goff, St. Brown, Gibbs, Montgomery. It's Frank. It's Sewell. It's Decker. I can keep going. It's J-Mo. All right. The defense is Hutch. It's Aleem. It's freaking Alex. It's TA. Right. It's Kirby. It's Branch. It's now Reed. I can keep going. It's Barnes. And so that's what we are. All right. We can say, well, this is our scheme. This is what we run. No. They're the ones who make it what it is. So. That's our playbook. It's those guys.
What do you want to see from Jared Goff in terms of growth this year?
Growth? He continues to grow every year, and I'd say the next step for him, and he knows this, and every year, like last year he came to us, everything we wanted him to do in the offense he did, and then he began to bring stuff to us as to, hey man, I can see this look. Let me get to this play. I know I've got these options in the bag, but let me get to this as well. right? Those are the things where he's, okay, here we go, man. That's beginning to show, and I would anticipate that to take another step up.
Do you envision using them?
Well, for what they're asked to do, they're all three competitive, productive players. And I think it's just, man, it's the way they play the game, right? They don't back down from anybody. Let's start with Reed, man. Reed, he's got cover ability. He can play man-to-man, start there, but then he'll bite on the perimeter, right? He'll come up, he'll tackle, he'll squeeze the edges, and then when you see him in press, man, he challenges, right? He's not giving you free releases. Now, he'll mix it up, and then he'll challenge it to catch point. Man, he's feisty, he's competitive. One of the best things I saw, I told him this, man, they're playing, it was early in the year, it was crossover tape. He got beat on a play. He actually got beat, all right? And to watch him put his foot in the ground, kind of stumble out, one of the rare, times you get beat, but you get beat at corner, right? That's part of this league. He gets beat, he puts his foot in the ground, and I mean, he is on an all-out. He doesn't have time to think about it, recover. He's just on a beeline to try to angle this guy off. And I thought that was one of the most impressive things, man. This guy didn't go in the tank. He's not worried about what it looks like. He's just trying to compete and win. And he lines up and goes back for more. And that says it all. He's got the attributes, he's got the skill level, but man, he's feisty, he's competitive. He doesn't get down, man. And I would say Lopez is the same thing, right? Lopez he's a down and dirty. Doesn't mean he can't play third down, but he lives in base a lot, man. He's taking on the double teams. He's keeping people off the backers. He can get an edge on you, and he'll just do it time out, time in, time out again, over and over. And one of the things that impressed me about him was when we played him. I mean, him going against Frank all day. We ran the heck out of the ball, but man, that guy held his own now, and we got a pretty damn good center. So that was impressive. That among others, and then I already mentioned Stewart. Stewart can do it all, man. He's the guy that's been counted out, but just continues to make plays in this league. He's a dynamic special teams player, in my opinion, and he can play defense. I mean, he played defense against us. When I got done with the closing press conference, I was already on. I'm on to the next thing. So, and then I can tell you, Brad he was already well within, kind of the prep of these college 2025 draft. So he'd kind of been in it, So we say every year about that time, it's like tag you're it, So it was tag you're it, but then I'm into the phase of finding the next batch of coaches or promoting or whatever that is, and so you go right into it. You don't have time to really digest all those things of the last game. But what I do know is you got to be careful if you say. You come out of it and you say, man, what's wrong? What's wrong with us? We did it right. We had 15 wins in a season. We played bad at the wrong time, and so careful tweaking things. What you got is good enough. We just gotta, we gotta play better in that moment. But it also means we can't stay the same. We all know that. That's not good for anybody.